Birds is about three kids who are at home alone, and they're sort of dealing with a lot of outside influences that are pressing in, and they're trying to keep a normal life, and they're hiding a mystery, as it were. Yeah.
And I agree with that, and also think Three Birds is about sibling solidarity. It's about like making an attempt to unify against a world that is opposing your aspirations. Yeah, I think it's about survival and trying to get the most out of life.
That's good. I said that as well.
I think all of the above, what everyone said, but also that it's just three kids in a very adult situation trying to cope, and not, you know, there's a sort of there's an amount of not being children that they have to do, and I think.
Okay, Tion is who I play. I am Jahvel, and he's 13 years old. He's a selective mute, and he's a bit strange, but I think you'll find out as play goes on why he is the way he is, and he's a really nice guy. I like him. I think he's quite sweet.
My name is Michaela Coel, and I play the part of Tiana. I think Tiana she's 16, she's studying beauty in Lewisham College, and she's very strong, she's very ambitious, she's got a best friend called Janice, and they're setting up a business together, and she's got really big plans, and she cares very much for her two siblings.
My name's Susan Wokoma, and I play Tanika. She's 9. I'm not. And Tanika is, I think she's lovely. She's got a lot of love to give and demands quite a bit as well. She's obsessed with her teacher, Miss Jenkins, and she just wants to be happy and have a home and have all the things that she thinks all her friends have. And yeah, she's lovely. She's hilarious as well. It's really hard playing a character so much younger than me. It's just about it's actually about getting a lot of fear out of the way. Like in rehearsals, you have to be very okay with getting things wrong or trying things that may sit funny and weird. But that's the main thing that I've had to find, is to sort of leave ego or being self-conscious at the door, because there's so much of that doesn't exist with 9-year-olds, so much that they don't know. So that's been the biggest thing for me, and to keep doing that every night, no matter what goes wrong, to keep sort of that playfulness and openness, that's the biggest challenge, but it's also been the greatest thing about playing somebody so young. It's me.
Playing a 16-year-old wasn't hard because I'm only 18. So it's only 2 years below. So I kind of just naturally fell into it. I think the challenge was playing a lot younger than me and playing the oldest out of the siblings. So it's like I'm playing a mum, but I'm playing a 16-year-old at the same time. I actually feel like it's because of the casting that I'm used to playing quite a young sort of the youth them, but it was playing the powerful sort of authoritative character that I found most challenging. Thanks to Sarah Franklin, who worked around it. It's good.
Yeah, playing 13 wasn't that difficult. I think the hardest thing for me about playing a 13-year-old was finding out where he was in terms of like his physicality. He's not, as a character, he's not that confident anyway. And so he didn't sort of strut around like this, but then as a 13-year-old, you sort of have that thing where you don't walk like an adult, but you don't walk like, say, a 9-year-old would or a child would. You sort of have a different view on the world, that puberty kind of thing, outlook on life. And so he's a bit temperamental and stuff, and that's kind of like tapping into my youth more than years ago. Being only 16, 2 years younger than Michaela,
I'm 34.
Yes, she is.
I think it's really, it is set on a council estate in Lewisham, and it is important to see those people's lives without them all speaking like that, and you know, of EastEnders, because these kids aren't. Their history, which of course we know much more about because we've spoken with Janice, our writer, and it's much more complex it's much more complex, and that's what I love, is that these kids haven't just been, you know, born into poverty and just struggling and eating out of bins. It's much more complex, which is 9 times out of 10 what it's like, and I think that's important. Yeah, and like I said, I've always been a fan that these 3 kids are at the centre of this play, because you don't hear kids like voice in this way, and that's really important. We shouldn't be shy about telling these stories. Or it'll have to be. It has to be. Oh, my favourite line of the play has to be. I'll get adopted because I'm young and pretty, but you'll stay in the home because you look like you've got problems and white people touch you up. Just because it's horrific that she thinks that about going into care. But it's one of those things, it's that parrot fashion of children when they hear like a spooky, scary thing, she'll just say it without really knowing what she means. I find that hilarious and really scary. That's one of my favourites.
My favourite line from Three Birds is definitely, which I always say is my favourite line, it's done, I did it, I couldn't sew it up, so I clipped it. And the reason why that is my favourite line in this entire play is because I feel like that one line sums up not only this play, but like this sort of world. Like, I feel like we can't fix problems, so we just find temporary ways to sort of plaster them up and make them look like they're okay, when really, like, the blood is seeping out from underneath the plaster, and that's what I like. You know?
That's deep.
That's why I love that line. It's his line, it's Tion's line, it's my favourite line. I'm going to take that into the
performance tonight.
Yes, do it. It's the best line in the whole play.
That line's going to take you like
it's freaking deep, man.
I did it. My favourite line of the play, it changes as the play goes on. I think currently my favourite line is Tiana's line, where she says, she talks to Miss Jenkins, she's like, stepping over puddles of piss to make these promises that you can't keep. This is better, miss. This is the best it can get. Yeah. And I think it's a really powerful line, and it really shows a lot about her character Tiana and Miss Jenkins' character, and how they have completely different views on what is acceptable and what is okay in life. And it sort of shows different backgrounds of the characters, and it really touches my heart every night. It's okay.
Just one question about what you think audiences will take, what you hope they'll take from the play.
I
go.
No,
go.
No, go.
No, you go. I've lost it now.
I've got it. I'll pick it up. I'll pick up the ball. I think what I would like audiences to appreciate, one of the things I'd like audiences to appreciate about this play is that it doesn't end the way a usual play with a cast that is majority black ends. It doesn't end, no one's a criminal, we don't have any guns, we're not hurting anyone, we're just people, and it ends in a way that is not stereotypical of theatre, usually with a majority black cast. And I very much, that's one of the things that I personally appreciate about the play. There's many things that I would like the audience to take away, but that is one of them.
Yeah, and that's how I feel also. I feel like it's great that having a black cast and the characters the reference to the characters aren't black. It's great having a black cast and doing it as a black actors, and having all these characters who are of ethnic minorities, but it doesn't take on the usual stereotypical route that a lot of other plays based with this kind of character demographic does, which I think is good. I hope audiences take away from this play a view on a different world that isn't a negative outlook on them. They look on it in a sort of, oh, I never thought about it in that kind of way before. And I think it would be nice to hopefully get people thinking about different families rather than just looking down on them.
The thing that I hope people take away from this is just that really ferocious family love. It's so deep with these siblings without them sort of declaring it every 5 minutes, but it's just by what they do it's so clear how much they love each other and want to stay together, and I think that is stunning, to have that between such young people, because I think that you get those declarations in Shakespeare and with much older characters. It's just so gorgeous to see 3 young people really love each other and just want home, and to know that these kids think that deeply. Kids do think that deeply, and that's what I want people to take away from this.
I prefer that answer. Can we somehow edit this? Because that was better.
Yeah, she sort of wrapped up everything you wanted to say about the waffle.
Just come
See,
down
that's why she
and
went
just do a lip sync.